From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at Noon, streaming now.
It's heartbreaking for me as someone who loves this city and desperately wants to see a speedy recovery from the effects of this pandemic.
COVID-19 restrictions back in Indianapolis, the increase in new cases and that will impact a number of businesses, and it will especially affect students at every single school in Marion County. That is our breaking news to begin this midday. The surge in the pandemic means that thousands of students will soon be heading back home for virtual learning. Today, Mayor Joe Hogsett made that announcement along with Dr. Virginia Kane, the director of the Marion County Public Health Department. The mayor says that all schools in the county must return to 100% virtual learning no later than November 30th. That's the Monday after Thanksgiving. Hogsett also announced a number of new restrictions on businesses and social gatherings. He also says he wishes he could tell business owners that more money was on the way to help them survive the latest wave of this pandemic.
We absolutely should be announcing new business assistance programs alongside these business restrictions. Unfortunately, we have now gone 8 months without congressional action to provide relief to residents, businesses, and local governments.
Well, the mayor says that he's hopeful Washington will pass a new round of COVID-19 relief now that the election's over. But so far, members of Congress and the White House do not appear to be close to doing so. The mayor and the health department announcing a number of other COVID-19 restrictions in addition to the virtual learning order for the schools. Here's just a few of them that will take effect this Sunday. Bars and entertainment venues are now capped at 25% capacity. They can still continue to serve people outdoors. Buffets, salad bars, and karaoke, those are all banned for now. Gyms are also now limited to 25% indoor capacity. Religious services are capped at 75% capacity, and you'll now need a negative COVID test in order to visit someone at a long-term care facility. There are more restrictions besides these, and we have a complete list right now on our website. Just go to WRTV.com. Governor Holcomb had already announced new statewide restrictions yesterday because of the rising COVID-19 numbers. The newest report from the state health department shows that Indiana set a single-day record for new COVID-19 cases for the second consecutive day. This is also the first time Indiana has surpassed 6,000 new cases in one day. It's another day of high death totals as well. 51 additional COVID-related deaths reported. Hospitalizations also went up to another record level, and the state's 7-day average positivity rate is now above 20% for unique individuals. We have more on these numbers, plus a closer look at what the governor announced yesterday. It's all at WRTV.com. Let's take a turn to our forecast for today. We enjoyed some nice warm weather, and hopefully, Kyle, people are able to get outside because things have been cooling back down.
Yeah, in a big way, by about 30 degrees or so over what we had earlier in the week, Lauren. This morning, we started off with some 20s, down to 24 this morning in Kokomo, 28 in Muncie, 32 in Indy. Sunshine, we certainly need all we can get to warm things up, and we're making some progress. We're at 46 right now. Those mostly sunny skies. A little bit of an east wind. It's not all that breezy, but it is giving us a bit of a wind chill. It feels like 42 right now. We do have a couple of places, though, that are close to getting into the 50s already. Connorsville at 49, same for you in the Terre Haute area, while it's 44 in Tipton and Greenfield at 45. We're kind of between weather systems. There's the rain associated with the warmth we had earlier in the week. You notice there's some snow off to the northwest. We're not going to be getting into the snow, but that system will be bringing in some cooler air tomorrow. This afternoon, though, with sunshine, temperatures getting into the lower and middle 50s for that afternoon high. With mostly clear skies, though, they will fall fairly quickly. By 8 o'clock, we're at 43 degrees. We'll talk about that cooler Friday and the changes for the weekend in a few minutes.
All right, Kyle, thank you. New this midday, Metro Police are investigating the deaths of 2 people on the north side of Indianapolis, but they also say that this is an isolated incident and the public is not in danger. Officers were called just before 8 o'clock this morning to a home on Carrollton Avenue near East 43rd Street and College Avenue. Police say they found 2 people dead inside the home. The identities of the victims and what led to their deaths has not been released. Well, it is a Thanksgiving tradition here across central Indiana, but this year the Moselle Sanders Foundation is especially in need of your help. It's going to be tougher than ever for them to provide those Thanksgiving dinners to those in need. Today, our partners at Radio 1 are holding a social media and radio-a-thon to raise money for the foundation. So earlier, I spoke to Tina Cosby. She's the host of Community Connection on AM 1310 and 92.7 The Light. She says she's seen up close how the pandemic is causing more Hoosiers to be at risk of hunger.
You know, Lauren, and you all, you're such good news gathering partners with us, and your station has been over to the Urban League, has been at the Urban League every Tuesday at 10 a.m. We help put together a food and meal giveaway for people that have been especially hard hit by the pandemic. It started out in April as a one-off, and this past Tuesday we marked our 30th consecutive week. Because not only is there a need, not only is there an expressed need, there is a growing need. And so before, when we first started, we said, food and supplies for up to food boxes and freshly prepared meals for up to 500 families. Oh, that'll take all day to get. No. Yeah, I mean, most of the time we start at 10, and a lot of time between 11 and noon, it's gone. Everything that we have to offer is gone. So when you look at the need, I mean, need is just, I guess we could put it all in all caps. The need is not only there, but it's growing, it's increasing. And the interesting thing about this dinner is last year, and I think I have it correct, we distributed, the Moselle Sanders Foundation distributed, I say we because I feel like we are here too as well. But anyway, we helped the Moselle Sanders Foundation distribute over 40,000 meals, 40,000. And with COVID and how things are going to be, we don't know. I was on the phone late last night talking with one of the board members, and there's that uncertainty as to how we're going to get it done. How is our outreach going to be? We know that we're going to reach tens of thousands of people again. We just don't know the number, but we know we need to increase that number if at all possible. So that's why today's social media radiothon is so very important, because you're social, I'm social, we're virtual. And, you know, like I was saying before, maybe before we went on, that's our culture right now. So we have to appeal to our culture and say, hey, culture, come on, help us out, because, there are going to be so many people in need this Thanksgiving, not just this Thanksgiving, but every day, but especially the one day that we set aside.
Much thanks to Tina Cosby for joining us. Radio 1 social media and radio-a-thon for Moselle Sanders continues all day until midnight tonight. You can check it out on all of their radio stations as well as their Facebook pages and other social media sites. Well, he's a Hoosier and he'll have one of the most important jobs in the country. Next, the veteran of Indiana and national politics who's getting a big role in the White House. Kyle.
We are enjoying a lot of sunshine here, and that'll carry over through the end of the week. But for the weekend, the clouds and some showers returning to the forecast. How that wet weather could impact your weekend plans. You're watching WRTV News at Noon.
Welcome back. Once President-elect Joe Biden takes office, a Hoosier will be in charge of the day-to-day operations of the administration. Political veteran Ron Klain has accepted the offer to be the next White House Chief of Staff. Klain is a graduate of North Central High School right here in Indianapolis, and he served as Biden's Chief of Staff during the early years of his vice presidency. Klain was also the White House Ebola response coordinator back in 2014, and he's taken interest in the response to the coronavirus pandemic, the central priority of the incoming Biden administration. And President-elect Biden continues to work on the rest of his White House team today, but the president still has not conceded the election, and he continues to make the unsubstantiated claims of voter fraud. Now more Republicans are starting to come forward to say the president should acknowledge his loss and start the transition. Oklahoma Senator James Lankford says he's prepared to step in if Joe Biden does not start receiving the official presidential daily briefings.
No loss from him getting the briefings and to be able to do that. And if that's not occurring by Friday, I will step in as well and to be able to push and to say this needs to occur so that regardless of the outcome of the election, whichever way that it goes, people can be ready for that actual task.
Biden is expected to continue to announce his presidential staff and nominees for cabinet positions in the coming weeks. Former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg is considered a likely candidate to have a role in Biden's administration. The return of COVID-19 restrictions means more struggles for the arts community. Next, the story of one musician and his effort to keep the music playing against the odds. And how do you navigate Thanksgiving with your family and not spread the virus? Coming up, some tips on how to have a happy and healthy holiday gathering. Let's take a live look outside this midday here from our tower camera downtown view to the west. Kyle Mounts will break down our forecast for the rest of the afternoon and look ahead to the rest of the week. That's coming up here on the news at noon. You're watching WRTV.
It's so hard because the energy of live music, you want them right there. Even when we play shows, I want you to be up as close as you can, but we just have to realize that for right now, we have to just change what we're doing.
COVID restrictions are impacting musicians and artists like Indiana native Clayton Anderson performs and makes a living at these live shows. And so our Cornelius Hawker spoke to Anderson about the challenges that he and so many other performers are facing right now and his plan to keep making music as the pandemic continues.
Back in March, when the pandemic changed everything, musicians across the country canceled concerts, but found other ways to connect with fans.
We streamed for, I think, like 8-9 weeks straight. And luckily, we were very blessed to have some very nice fans tune in and help get us through that time.
The live streams did well for Clayton Anderson and his bandmates. And then, once it looked like the spread of the virus was under control, they got the chance to do some outdoor shows.
If we were playing outside, we did really well. We had a lot of people show up, but everyone was spread out and they could have their space.
But as it gets colder and COVID-19 cases continue to rise, Clayton tells me they more than likely won't be performing indoors anytime soon, especially as major cities reinstate restrictions. Despite booking an indoor concert over the summer, Clayton isn't sure fans are ready for the crowds that come along with live music.
We struggled to sell 500 tickets back in the summer, and I thought we'd easily do that. So people are definitely still nervous and afraid to come inside. And I don't want I had the virus. It was not fun. I don't want anybody to get it. I don't want anyone to show up and risk themselves.
Clayton doesn't want to tell anyone how to live their lives. But if you like live music,
I think wearing a mask would be good. Just, be responsible. Try to social distance yourself.
And he hopes fans across the country listen to guidance and advice from medical professionals so everyone can eventually get back to enjoying music together.
Yes, I ran away where I belong.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
Cornelius, thank you. And we had plenty of time to get outdoors the past few days. Kyle, it was so warm here for November, but things are getting back to normal, we should say, in terms of the temperatures.
Yeah, that means probably no outdoor concerts going on here anytime soon. But it is feeling more November-like out there, and kind of a shock because we had that nice warm stretch, and now temperatures have fallen by about 30 degrees or so. We're at 46 right now in Indianapolis, 48 for you in Shelbyville, and 44 in Kokomo. So temperatures are starting to warm up a little bit after that start in the 20s and 30s. We do have a little bit of an east breeze out there, close to 10 miles per hour. So again, that does add a bit of a chill to the air, but high temperatures today will make their way middle to upper 50s. 58 for you in Bloomington this afternoon, 53 in Muncie, and about 54 in Indianapolis. Average high is 55, so can't get much closer than that to where we should be. Temperatures this evening do fall fairly quickly here through the 40s. But then the clouds will start to build in as we go later on into tonight, and that will kind of level off those temperatures a little bit. Maybe a sprinkle, a stray shower with a couple of those overnight tonight, but most areas not going to see any rainfall here, and if you do, it won't add up to a whole lot. As we look the Friday forecast, the sunshine does return to the area, so we're going to kick the clouds out pretty quickly. But notice the temperatures, they're actually a little bit cooler than what we're going to experience today. 44 at noon. I don't think we'll see those numbers getting out of the 40s tomorrow. So that means if you are going to be heading off to some of those high school football games tomorrow night, you're going to need maybe, in addition to the jacket, the blanket or something to keep yourself warm. 50 degrees on Saturday, 59, so some warmth on Sunday, but you notice it does come with some scattered showers, and we see that with TrueCast here. This is Saturday at 7 a.m. Some of that light rain moving in. I think it's going to be warm enough that we won't have any of the wintry mix. That's off to the west of us. But as we go through Saturday afternoon, some light showers. Looks like the most widespread rain may come overnight Saturday into early Sunday, and then as we go into Sunday afternoon, the showers will start to to clear the area, so we may get some afternoon sunshine. Generally about a third, possibly a half inch of rainfall coming our way here, though, for the upcoming weekend. So you're going to need to keep that umbrella handy as you're out and running errands. Temperature-wise, as we go through the afternoon, again, middle 50s for us. A lot of sunshine here through the end of the week. And then as we get into the weekend, there's that 31-degree temperature, but I think that's going to happen pretty close to midnight, and then temperatures will warm ahead of that wet weather that moves in here Saturday and Sunday. Looking ahead to the forecast of next week, going to be a cool start there Monday and Tuesday. Highs in the 40s again. Then things start to warm up. 56 on Wednesday. And as we look just beyond that forecast, above average temperatures, but keeping in mind, Lauren, the average high is falling. It gets down into the mid 40s there by the end of the month.
All right, Kyle, thank you so much. Well, with Thanksgiving right around the corner, making plans for a big feast, it's going to look quite a bit different this year. Just saw some Casey family emails about our plans for the holidays, and they're not like they normally are. Throughout the country, the CDC has released updated guidelines, so Scripps reporter Stacey Ann Gooden has some tips on how to celebrate the holiday safely.
A turkey with all the trimmings as family and friends gather around to give thanks. That's what we look forward to each year for Thanksgiving. But this time around won't be the same with COVID-19 at the forefront.
During this pandemic, I think we need to be extremely cautious.
Dr. Waleed Javed is an epidemiologist at Mount Sinai downtown. With an uptick in coronavirus cases nationwide, he says the key to getting through a Thanksgiving feast safely is to plan ahead and follow the CDC's updated guidelines. That starts with keeping the festivities small. A large gathering could lead to positive test results, something he knows all too well.
People who are asymptomatic can spread the virus. So if you go to a gathering like that, we see that unfortunately more than a few times that people come back and they end up being positive. When we ask them the history, they were in some sort of a social gathering.
Do you suggest maybe quarantining for a certain length of period before you have dinner with your friends and family?
There is no good way of doing this. You can quarantine, like would you quarantine for 14 days before and 14 days after? That is a month. It's not a real easy possibility.
The CDC recommends celebrating with members of your household. If you plan to invite people over, make sure everyone wears a mask when not eating or drinking. Stay at least 6 feet away from guests, disinfect surfaces, wash hands with soap and water, and have hand sanitizer nearby. The agency also suggests choosing single-use options whenever possible and consider an outdoor feast to reduce your risk. There's no doubt that staying home is the safest bet, but if you plan to travel, check restrictions before you go. If you follow these guidelines, the safer you'll be.
All right, and that was Stacey Ann Gooden with that report for your Thanksgiving. Here's a live look outside on this Thursday. We'll have more news and one final check of your forecast coming up next. You're watching WRTV. Welcome back. So here's another sign of the holiday season, perhaps. Actor Tim Allen posted this picture to his Twitter page today. He says, quote, "Woke up this morning and noticed a bit more stubble. This always happens to me as I transition to you-know-who this Christmas," end quote. I guess that means all of the Santa Claus movies will be hitting TV soon. I'm ready for it. WRTV is getting ready for the holiday season as well, and we hope you're feeling generous like Santa. You can help us put smiles on faces of girls and boys all across our area here of Central Indiana. It's our 20th annual toy drive kicking off this Saturday at the Christmas Nights of Lights at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. $1 for every ticket sold on Saturday will go to the WRTV toy drive. Thanks for your help. If you're looking for a job, we're looking to team you up with the Indiana Black Expo for a job fair today. The virtual Hiring Hoosiers Employment Opportunity Fair is underway right now, and it runs until 4 this afternoon. Multiple companies are taking part, including FedEx, First Merchants Bank, Lowe's, and more. For more information, just visit hiringhoosiers.com. All right, let's get one final check of our forecast. Some sunshine out there, Kyle.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy that. And temperatures not too bad. 55 degrees here with that east wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So no need for the umbrella today. You're not going to need it tomorrow either. But Saturday and Sunday might want to have that handy, as we are going to have some scattered showers off and on throughout both days there. And temperatures a little cooler as we start next week.
Kyle, thank you, and thank you for joining us and making WRTV your choice for news. We hope you have a great Thursday afternoon.